Hi, this is Ernie Sloan, editor of Dog Fancy and Dog Channel. I'm here today with Sue Vedroska of the National Disaster Search Dog Foundation, and we're doing a training session. Sue, can you tell us about the dogs and what you're training today?
Well, we're training our dogs today to find, well, they're continuing their training to find live human beings. So what we're doing is we're out at this rubble pile. We're going to bury some folks, volunteers or ourselves, whoever shows up. We'll bury them in the rubble, and then we're going to send the dogs up, and they'll alert by barking. Wherever the victim is located, they're going to bark continuously. We'll reward them, and another happy day. We do a minimum of 2 searches, 2 trainings a week, but we don't limit it to rubble, to concrete. We do wood, we do greenways, we do empty buildings, anything that we can find where that might be at a disaster scene where we might need to search.
Now tell us about the dogs here. They seem to be moving pretty quickly across the concrete here.
Well, these dogs are high drive, ready to go dogs. That they're not, if they have any footing issues, we wouldn't use them. So we select dogs that are eager to please and very mobile. So they're very agile. They don't have any problems with the rubble. If they do, or if we identify problems with the rubble, we'll wash that dog.
There's a difference between finding a live person and finding someone who has not survived a catastrophe. Can you talk a little bit about what they're looking for or how they search?
Well, these particular dogs are looking for live human beings. So they're smelling. They're not looking, actually. We call it looking, but they're not using their eyes. They're using their nose, finding the scent of a still living person that's coming up through the concrete, that's coming up to the surface, barking at that scent source for us. We do train them off cadaver, off dead people. We hired small pieces of cadaver in the rubble and train them not to alert on that. They're dogs, they're going to acknowledge that scent, they'll smell it, but it doesn't ever get them a reward, so they'll move on and find somebody that's still alive.
Now, I know the National Disaster Search Dog Foundation rescues a lot of these dogs. What kind of dogs are you looking for when you get a dog into the training for the program?
Well, we're looking mostly for retrievers because we've been breeding them for generations and generations to hunt, and we've exploited that for us, you know, for our purposes. First for food and now for rescue work and to help us in what we need to do. But we need the dog that doesn't do well at home. The dog that doesn't like to lay around and watch TV, pick up the remote, and eat bonbons. We need the dog that wants to come out, wants a job, wants to be busy. And that's what you'll see when you look at these dogs out here. We have some labs that they can't wait to get out here and run on concrete and find people.
Now, some of the surfaces out here look pretty treacherous. Even though it's a training practice, there's a lot of rebar, a lot of sharp edges. It's pretty dangerous to be doing some of this training.
It's actually more dangerous for us than it is for them. If we had 4 points of contact, we'd be moving a lot better too. And they have the ability, if something's sharp under this foot, at the last microsecond, not to put any weight on that foot. You won't even notice a change in gait, but they'll just skip the weight on that foot and move to that next one coming down. We don't have that ability. That's why we tumble and fall a lot.
Now, I know some of these dogs are what they call, have a high prey drive or high toy drive, so they're very energetic kinds of dogs, and they also are very agile.
We think that they're finding people. They don't know that they're finding people. They know that they're finding a toy. You know, the toy isn't even in there, but what they're looking for, what they're hoping for is that a toy will come out of there. So every time they bark at a scent source, up pops a toy. And to them, that's the greatest reward on earth. The toy pops up out of the ground. It's a miracle to them. And then the ground plays this huge game with them. And they just think that's the best thing on the planet.
Now, are the teams, most of the handlers here, I know you're with the LA Sheriff's Department.
Yep.
Most of the handlers here, either fire department, first responders, they're
yeah,
all volunteers,
the primary
right?
goal is first responders, because we'll have the dogs at work, and then we'll be the first ones on scene, and we'll already have the resource. So if it's a situation where the dog can be used, we don't have to wait for the dog. We can put the dog into service immediately. There are civilians. We have a couple of ones out here hiding in a hole right now. You know, we're going to call them in, and especially a large-scale disaster where we're going to be working overtime, then we can use them as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.